Welcome back, everyone. We are doing a tier list of Get to Heaven by Everything Everything, the monumentally great album, critically acclaimed, one of my favorite albums of all time. And this is their third studio album out of six. We just did a tier list of Raw Data Field. Go check that out if you're interested. But we figured we might as well do Get to Heaven as well. We're both very familiar with that album, and we have a lot of good things to say about it. So we kind of want to add our take to the many takes out there already. But Zach, tell me a little bit about Get to Heaven.
So it's a good album. It's there's a lot of good songs scattered around.
And we have, what kind of versions do we have of this album?
We have the deluxe edition of this album that we will be going through all of the songs, including the deluxe ones.
Okay, so we're going to be going through all the tracks here, and we're just going to be going from 1 to 17. And if you don't know, everything alternative rock, art rock band, many sounds, many genres, they kind of cross genre in terms of their sound within the same song and within different songs on the same album. They just have such a wide scope of instrumentation, and it's just such a good album. And we're going to go through that. So we're going to be starting with, what better than the first song on this album, To the Blade. Listen, before we even get into this is one of my favorite albums of all time. And so if I'm saying everything is an S tier or a good chunk of it, and you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's just ridiculous. No, we picked this album for that reason. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. So To the Blade is an S. Let me just start there. Zach?
So is there any meaning to anything what we do? I think is how it goes. Maybe not exactly.
So you think there's no meaning? That's how it starts.
So this is a good song.
The drop, though.
Some catchy lyrics. The drop is good. His voice is kind of crazy on this. I think it's an A tier, I'd say.
Well, one S and one A means S. All right, the next song, which I think was the first single, was Distant Past, which again is an incredible song. This is S tier to me. Thoughts on Distant Past, Zach?
It's okay. I like how he says distant past. It's
that beginning of me. It's great, and then it's super catchy. I can't believe this song didn't take off in the UK. It did a little bit of something on the charts, but this is just so catchy and infectious and vibrant sounding that I think this song should have done a little bit better. But this is an S tier track to me.
This is an A tier track.
All right, so we're rocking with just straight S's across the board. So we have Get to Heaven, the title track. This is a strong A to me. I think this is a little bit of a step down from those songs. It's still incredible. I love the Caribbean sounding, out in the cold. It's just very cool. The instrumentation and the chorus hits as well. And title tracks on albums are always great because they're inspired by that. And the vocals and the lyrics here are great. And there's a clear message in terms of what the song is trying to say. And I think it's excellent. So this is a strong A tier for me.
I think it's a little slow and soft. I think it's one of the lower songs on the album, actually. I think it's probably a B tier song.
Okay, so we'll put it at A for now. And then we hop right back into kind of the upbeatness, even though Get to Heaven was pretty upbeat. But anyway, Regret. Incredible start to the album, very jarring when you first listen to it. And then it goes into First You'll See Me on the News, then Never Again. And again, the chorus hits super strong, and the pre-chorus is excellent as well. This is an S tier song to me too.
So with this song, I like the part where he says regret, regrets. Other than that, that's probably what ends for me. This is actually not one of my favorite songs. I give this a B tier.
That's just absolutely disrespectful. I guess we'll put an A for now, but the disrespect is off the chart. Okay, Spring Song Winter Dread. I will not even entertain an opinion that this is not S. So you can say D tier, but this is staying in S. This is one of the pinnacles of their career. Super soaring chorus, and it caps off a 5-song run at the beginning. That's just ridiculous. So this is an S tier song. What do you think?
The song's pretty good. I wish it was Spring, Summer, Winter Dread, because I keep mistaking it for that, not Sun. But it's a good track. I still wouldn't give it an S, but I give it an A. It's a good song.
Wow.
Out of all of these, it's probably the best.
All right, so we're keeping it an S for sure. And then we go into The Wheel is Turning Now. Do not be led astray by the trolls saying this is a bad song. This is a great song. Yes, it is a little bit of a slow burn, but it pays off in the end. And it's an incredible song. And I think it's a great transition from the first half to the second half of the album, at least on the standard edition, because there's 11 songs on the standard edition. You have the first 5 and the last 5, and this one is just the one exactly in the middle. And I think it is nice at truncating the first half from the second half. And it's a great song for me. This is still an A-tier song for me. I think it's great. And out of the first 6, yeah, it's probably my least favorite. But again, when they're all A's or S's, it's pretty impressive. So this is an A-tier song for me.
That I would go as far to say this is a C tier song.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a huge fan of this song. This is very weak as compared to the rest of the album.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll put it in B, but I'll go through what my actual tier list would be at the end, because it's just going to be all S's basically and some A's. Okay, so let me go to Fortune 500, another incredible song. This brings the energy up a little bit more. I love the glitchy vocals at the beginning. This is a strong A-tier song. It's just a great song to follow up The Wheel is Turning Now.
It's okay. I mean, although when you have a song like The Wheel is Turning Now, it's kind of easy to come back from that. But
The disrespect.
it's still pretty good. I would say it's an A.
Okay, so we got an A-tier song for here. And then we go into a song called Blast Doors. Zach, tell me a little bit about Blast Doors. Good song, bad song?
I think this is probably the second best song in the album. This deserves an S in my opinion. This is a very good song.
All right. Have we gotten to the best song on the album yet for you?
Yes, Spring, Sun, Winter, Dread.
Okay. All right. Even though you said you'd give that an A, but we'll let that slide. Okay, so Blast Doors is an S-tier song. This actually is my favorite song by the band, and I've turned on some of my friends into being believers in the band Everything because of the introduction to this song, Blast Doors. It just hits super hard. The chorus is very melodic, and then the drop is excellent as well going into the chorus. It's one of the best songs I've heard, and it's so catchy and infectious and unique, memorable. So many different ways I could describe the song, but at its core, this is an S-tier song. Next, we're going to Zero Pharaoh. Again, an amazing song. This is an A-tier song for me, a strong A. I think this song in particular really showcases the versatility in the production, because some of this album is actually self-produced, and you can tell there's a little bit of quirks here and there that seem out of place, but they're all strategically put in there. So you'll hear, like, if you have headphones on, especially something in the left or something in the right, you're like, oh, I'm not sure what that is. And with each listen, you hear a little bit more and more. And that's the point, in my opinion, of this album, is just every time you rehear it, to find something new about it. And this song is a great example of that. This is an A-tier song for me.
I would say this is probably a B tier song, but it's a lot better than The Wheels Are Turning Now. The Wheel is Turning Now.
And so we're going to No Reptiles. What is there to say about this? This is like a meme of a song, but also a great song. This is an S-tier song for me as well. Do you ever feel like a fat child in a pushchair old enough to run, Zach?
I do not, and it's very memey. And if you like memey songs, that's great. But I don't really like the meme of it. So I would give it a B. I mean, it's just a B song, really.
Wow, unbelievable. Okay, and so we end with Warm Healer, which is a good way to close it. This song as well is kind of a little bit slower, but you can tell the vocals here are great. And if you're listening to this in full with the deluxe edition, you can tell that this is a good transition kind of from the first half of really the whole standard into the deluxe. And I think it segments it well. This is one of my least favorite on the album, but still, they were hitting on all cylinders in this time frame. The song is still great, high replay value, and this is an A-tier song again.
I don't think we could put it any higher than The Wheel is Turning Now. This is a C tier song to me. I don't think anything above B should be there.
Jeez, disrespect. Okay, so then we're going to go into the deluxe version, starting with We Sleep in Paris. This is actually my least favorite song on the deluxe version. And these deluxe songs, some of them are great, some should have been on there, and some are just the deluxe. So when I say it's my favorite album, one of my favorite albums of all time, I'm talking about basically 1 to 11. But still, this is a good song, but it does get a little bit lost in the in the mess of all 17 songs. So this is probably a C tier song for me. Not that it's bad, but it's just not super memorable and it's very slow. So this is a C tier song, but it's not awful. But I would skip it sometimes, not every time, but sometimes.
Right. Yes, that's good.
All right. So then we go into Habsburg Lip. Thoughts on this track?
So this is interesting. Whenever I hear this song, I think of some weird disease, which is very interesting. Which kind of
What disease?
I don't know, something with Habsburg lips.
All right.
So it's kind of weird to think about that, but there's 3 P's at the end of lip, so that makes it a little better. It is a good song. It's
a great
a
song.
good bonus track. I think it's one of the better ones on the album, actually. I think it probably is in the area of maybe Get to Heaven and Zero Pharaoh. I think it's an A tier song.
Yeah, I give the song an S. This is my favorite song on the deluxe edition. Super catchy as well. On the quirky meminess comes out here as well. I think it's a little bit better done than No Reptiles, even though I still think No Reptiles is amazing. So this is an S tier song, and you said A, so we're gonna hop this in S. It's a great song. And then we go next to the President Heartbeat, which is actually my second favorite on the deluxe. Again, just incredible. This could have been a single on the front half of the album. It could have fit right in between Get to Heaven and Regret nicely. It very Caribbean kind of sounding in terms of the instrumentation. This is a great song to me. This is another S tier song.
I think if we put Habsburg Lip up there, it probably should be an S with it, but I'd say it's an A.
All right. So then we're going into the last 3, Brainchild, Yuppie Supper, and Only as Good as My God. These songs are all good as well. Brainchild is probably my favorite of those 3. And I like the lyrics on this. It's very interesting. But you can tell this really does feel like a B-side to me. President Heartbeat and Habsburg Lip are the 2 out of 6 on the deluxe that really do not feel like deluxes and could totally be in the normal album that are amazing songs. But to me, this sounds like a B-side, but even as a B-side, it's still really strong. So this is a strong B. I could go late A on this song, but what are you thinking?
I'm not familiar with these last 3 songs, so Ben's ranking.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with the A for this song here. Yuppie Supper is a good song too. It's a little bit slower, but it's not as slow as We Sleep in Paris or Only as Good as My God. So I kind of like it for that, but it really doesn't stand out that much and can kind of get lost in, again, the 17 songs here. So this is probably a C tier song, and Only as Good as My God is probably C as well. I mean, these are B-sides, deluxe songs, and they're still good, but they're not as good as the rest. So here's our ranking here. If I were to do it, my way, basically I would have Regret up, I would have No Reptiles up, I would have here, Warm Healer here. Let's see here. Yeah, this is probably how I would have it. And it's weird that there's no B's, but these last 3 clearly are just like, or probably Warm Healer would be down actually. This would probably be my list. Brainchild, actually, this would probably be my list. So as you can see, with the deluxe, if having 8 S tier songs on one album is pretty ridiculous, but you can go back and see what we came up with together. But overall, Get to Heaven is an incredible album. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. And in the decade of the 2010s, it stands very, very strong. And just out of curiosity, if you want to see what it looks like physically with just the normal album for me, so we have 6, 10, 11. This is what it would look like for me, probably something like this. And it changes on a day-to-day basis, but you can see the average here is like A+ to an S. So this is like near a 10 out of 10 album to me. It's like a 9.8. This album is absolutely incredible, really no skips. And even the songs that are skips, you can find elements of that are fantastic. Closing remarks on Get to Heaven, Zach?
I think it is better than Raw Data Feel by a little bit. I gave Raw Data Feel an 8. I would probably give this an 8.2. It's a little better, but it's still nowhere near the Gorillaz tiers. Gorillaz will always take that spot.
Oh gosh, here we go again with the Gorillaz love. All right, so that's going to end it from us here, and we'll see you guys later.